The beautiful man that is Todd Howard finally showed Starfield's first gameplay at the Summer Game Fest, and I gotta say, I have mixed feelings about it. So yeah, let's talk about that. First, I want to talk about the things that kind of worry me the most, because in the beginning of the reveal, it really kind of just felt like Fallout in space, which is not necessarily a bad thing since Fallout is awesome, but I was definitely expecting more. You know, Bethesda has really been hyping up Starfield to be like the most ambitious game ever, and from the looks of it, it doesn't really feel that way yet. You know, maybe it's because they just haven't revealed a lot of it and there's still a lot more to see. But so far, I'm kind of being cautiously optimistic. The graphics look good, but the fact that the demo was playing at such a bad FPS really kind of undermined a lot of the gameplay and didn't really make it feel that fluid, even though of course the game is still in a very early build, and of course it will be optimized before the game comes out. But it still kind of just undermines a lot of what you see when everything just feels so choppy, you know? Also, the designs of everything, like, you know, the planets, weapons, ships, and cities, all seemed kind of generic space sci-fi stuff and nothing that we haven't seen before like hundreds of times. Though the exception would be the creatures we've seen so far. So the creature design actually seems on point and pretty good, but everything else, I don't know. Nothing really kind of blew me away when I first saw it. Part of the reason why I really like, you know, the Fallout and Elder Scrolls series is because they definitely have their kind of own unique look. Even though, you know, the post-apocalyptic and, you know, the medieval fantasy thing has been done a lot. I feel like both of those games have really found their own look, especially with Morrowind. I feel like Morrowind definitely looked the most unique, though Skyrim kind of suffered from the same thing where I feel like it went maybe a little bit too generic and it didn't really feel nearly as unique, which was my main kind of complaint about Skyrim, was that I kind of wanted to see more kind of the Morrowind fantasy type aesthetic with it. Overall, it's not really gonna kill the game for me. You know, Star Citizen is a game that kind of has that generic, you know, space feel, but it still feels and looks really, really cool. So, you know, I'm all for it, though I definitely did wish, you know, they would have kind of their own unique spin on it. As for the exploration, apparently there will be over 1,000 fully explorable planets that you can visit. But this sounds very familiar to another game that had a very infamous launch, and that alone should tell you that quantity should not be valued over quality when it comes to the open world of a game. It doesn't matter how many planets you can explore if they all feel like the same generic and uninteresting procedurally generated worlds. So hopefully they're not just 100% procedurally generated. I'm sure they're not. But I feel like for 90% of the planets, that's going to be the case because it's just impossible just to hand make that much amount of content. So it's really going to come down to a balance of procedurally generating and going in and adding in custom handmade environments and other places to explore. So I'm definitely curious to see how they're going to handle this. You know, having things procedurally generated, you know, is definitely a good and useful way to make these, you know, giant places you can explore, but it definitely comes with a lot of drawbacks. So I'm really hoping that they kind of have a way to kind of fix this issue. But knowing Bethesda, I have a lot of faith in them. You know, we haven't seen that much yet, so maybe I'm wrong here, but hearing that there's so many planets to explore and then you could literally explore like all of the planet, it sounds really cool, but it actually makes me really worried. But if anyone can do it, Todd Howard can do it. Look at that beautiful man. Also, the main story didn't really grip me like the Fallout or Elder Scrolls games do, which is a really big thing. The main storyline and quest line of these type of games is really important, although I feel like what really makes the games is also the, you know, all the side quests and all the side things you can do. But so far, I'm not really gripped to the story. All we know so far is that apparently your character finds this mysterious artifact in the beginning of the game that gives them some sort of visions, and now you're tasked to find more of them. And the whole quest and search for the MacGuffin story has been done a lot. So unless Bethesda has some sort of twist on what will make this one different and more interesting, I feel like the main storyline will be kind of flat and stale. Which obviously it's too early to say anything, especially since we don't really know that much about it, but that's why I really wish they would have gave us more to make us just more invested and interested in the story of the game. You know, Skyrim had, I think, an amazing one that gripped you right away. You know, you're the first dragonborn in like 1,000 or something years, and you're basically the chosen one, and you're the only one who can absorb like these dragon souls and be able to stop all the dragons that are invading Tamriel. Like, that is such a cool concept and story to immediately grip players and bring them into your game. And Starfield didn't really give me any of that. But obviously, you know, that's something that they're still working on and that could honestly be really cool down the line. But I really feel like they should be focusing more on the main story and universe of the game that they're trying to sell us. So yeah, although there are a lot of things that I'm not too optimistic about, there are still some things that I think look really cool. The first one being that settlement-based building is back, baby. I know this got a lot of mixed criticism in Fallout 4, but this was actually one of my favorite things from that game. You know, building up your base and recruiting followers to work on them and defending it from like hordes of enemies that would sometimes try to invade and destroy your bases. I thought that was a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to see that returning in Starfield and what they really do to kind of like up the ante and make it more interesting. Also, the ship building looks awesome and super in-depth, and it's probably my favorite thing that they revealed in the game so far. You really have a lot of control over building your own ship and customizing how it looks, and I know I'm gonna spend so much time working on my ship and trying to perfect it to be like just perfect for me, you know? I think that's amazing. Plus, it sounds like the parts you choose for your ship will have a lot of interesting gameplay implications on like how your ship flies, how it fights, how it houses your cargo and your crew. Plus, like your settlements, you can hire and choose what kind of NPCs you want to work on the ship, which I'm really hoping promotes even more interesting gameplay choices. Like being able to like pick out and like hire the right crew for your ship. Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I feel like each crewman's gonna really bring something different to the table, making, you know, who you hire like a really important choice. Like, you know, maybe you want to get like a really good navigation officer that if you want to like explore planets a lot. Maybe you want some kind of like ex-military captain if you're like really into ship combat and like, you know, fighting pirates and stuff. Or like maybe you want to hire a really good medical staff. That way, like, you know, when you're out fighting on planets a lot on foot, you know, you can come back, get patched up, and go right back out to fighting again. So yeah, that's really cool. And I feel like upgrading and customizing your ship is going to be just as important as upgrading and customizing your character, which just gives me twice the amount of customization. I love that. That's super cool. And flying around in the ship actually looks like a lot of fun. I love the whole atmosphere and aesthetic of the first-person view from inside the ship, and I think that exploring space and different planets like this is going to feel really cool. The combat shown so far actually looked pretty visually impressive, you know, with the ships breaking apart and exploding as you unload rounds into them. So I'm all for that. Everything surrounding the ship gameplay and customization, I am super excited for. So between all the choices you have to make between building your ship and customizing your character and building all your settlements, I feel like there's gonna be a lot to do. And the game's gonna give you a lot of options for playing the game your own way and just really make it different from like anyone else who's playing the game, right? Which is one of the most important things for these type of open world RPGs. But that's it for now, guys. Overall, I am really excited for this game, and I want it so bad to be good. Though I'm definitely staying cautiously optimistic, because I wasn't as blown away as I thought I'd be with the reveal, to be honest. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and remember, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and show your support. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more Starfield stuff in the future, because I will definitely be covering it. Thank you guys. Bye!